Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here, welcome back to another counter-side video. Alright, today's video we're gonna talk a little bit about awakened units. Alright, so if you guys are not aware, we're gonna have, this awakened unit leaving soon, which is Awakened Hilde. Now a lot of you know Awakened Hilde is really strong. She's a solid unit to have. Who's this? Purple. Oh, it's a Eugene. Okay. So yeah, Awakened Hilde, as you guys see here, the banner is going away soon. How soon? Alright, 3 days, 8 hours. So more than likely, she's gonna get replaced by another Awakened character, another Awakened banner, right? So I want to talk a little bit about the next one. So if we were to follow the order, like how it's like in KR, I believe, or Taiwan, right? So after Awakened Hilde, Awakened YOO MINA should be the next character, the next unit to come. You know what, let me just do this free pull. It's not like I'm going to obtain her anyways. It's not like I'm going to obtain her. But here's the thing. We're going to discuss a little bit about YOO MINA and should you skip her. Like if you have Awakened Hilde, more than likely you might not really need or want to have more Awakened characters because they are quite expensive to deploy on the field. Having multiple Awakened characters can be really daunting because it's hard to manage your costs, right? Especially when they are all at cost 6 and above, and sometimes if they are banned, it's even more. Now, Awakened Hilde is currently dominating in the meta, in the arena, and for a good reason, right? Because Awakened Hilde is just so crazy powerful, she's just so strong. But let's talk about Awakened YOO MINA and how strong is she actually. Alright, so I'm going to showcase her right here in this video, and then you guys can decide if you want to pull for her. Alright, so Awakened YOO MINA, she has her own costume later on. This is how she looks like. Alright, let's talk about her skills briefly. Her stats, as you can see, it's pretty alright. I wouldn't say it's super amazing right here. She has about 50,000 HP, 7k attack, so that's probably her biggest strength, right? Everything else is quite low actually. If you look at the defense, you look at her hit, her evasion, everything is quite low. So she's not exactly super, she's not tanky by any means, despite being a striker. Alright, most strikers like Chifuyu, the twins, those are really tanky. But Awakened YOO MINA, I would say she's more on the average side, she's not on the tanky side. So if you leave her alone, she's quite squishy actually. It's not hard to kill her, but her strength lies not in her tankiness, but rather in her damage. She has a lot of burst potential. Alright, if you look at the skills right here, it's just some crazy stuff. Alright, so let me briefly show you guys what she does. I'm going to explain throughout of the basic attack, the passive skill, special skill, etc. Now, as you can see, her cost by default is 6. So 6 is okay, but she is more of a bomb. Alright, so what do I mean by bomb? If you guys are not familiar with how most players use Elizabeth, Pendragon, or Kang Soyoung, you want to use her in the same manner. So when you deploy her, it's quite hard to show in training, but when you deploy her, she basically go in and boom. Alright, can you see there's an explosion right there? Alright, and she just straight up do a bunch of crazy stuff afterwards. So let me see if we can deploy some enemies. So we're going to deploy some air units, some ground, AI on. So we're going to deploy her right here, right? Alright, you can see the damage from all the enemies. So basically when you deploy her, if you notice what she does is, even though I deploy her right here on the left side of the screen, she still comes towards here, to the right side. So what she does is she dashes forward on her own, and she inflicts this AoE damage, huge AoE damage within 6 meters. So every 3 basic attacks, alright, she will get her attack to be increased, and she does damage to basically 2 targets in front, and she also has the ability to hit air units. So that's something you have to keep in mind. So this is one thing that I think is unique in her passive skill. There's this statement that says that in Gauntlet, alright, she can deal additional damage equal to 15% of target's current HP. Now that is a lot. Keep in mind, this is 15% of the current target's HP, not max HP. So if they have less HP, 15% is going to be a lot less. If they are at their full HP, for example, Awakened Hilde, 15% is a lot. Alright, so that's just straight up something that she has an advantage throughout in Gauntlet. Alright, basically in PvP. Which is why in PvE, she is not really as strong as Hilde in my opinion. Alright, Hilde has overall better kit for PvE, but for PvP, I would say she has this benefit to her. Alright, skill level 5 of her passive, what it does is she will be immune to CC or any sort of hit stun or anything for 6 seconds after being deployed. And she will have her attack speed increased by 30% for 6 seconds. So after 6 seconds, her attack speed will reduce to 20% increase. So let's talk about her special skill, which is this skill right here. Let me see if I can activate that. Alright, that's what she does. She just slash up and she hit upwards, as you guys notice. So basically she does swing her sword, fires a blast of fire, and at level 5 it will just decrease the cooldown by 5 seconds. If at level 5, this skill is counted as a basic for her passive, which is quite interesting. Alright, so let's talk about ultimate. So the ultimate is when she just use this skill, bam, and just fire with that energy blast or whatever. Alright, so this is an attack that can hit air units. The cooldown, of course, at level 5 is just lowered by 3 seconds. Every time she does an enhanced basic attack. So her kit is mostly in her deployment. Alright, she's really strong when you deploy her. So when you deploy her, all she does is she comes in and does that and explode surrounding the enemies. So that's basically her strongest kit. Alright, her special and ultimate won't be the main reason of why you are using her. Alright, same with Elizabeth, right? The same reason why you use Elizabeth or Kang Soyoung is mostly because of the passive. When you deploy them, you don't really use them for their active or special. Yes, those two are strong as well, but how you deploy her using her passive is just where you can turn the tide of the battle, right? And this is what makes her extremely strong. Now, with that being said, is she going to be worth pulling? She's still top tier in KR actually. A lot of players are still using her. She hasn't fallen off by any means. And of course, there are some other Awaken units that compete with her for sure. The thing is, if you are free to play, right? A lot of KR players have been saying, if you are free to play, you're better off skipping her, to be honest, because what she does in PvE, right, is just not enough to justify her cost. And that's something you have to keep in mind. If you only care about PvE, Awaken Heal Day is going to be better overall, right? I feel like she shines in PvP, but she doesn't shine in PvE as much as Awaken Heal Day. So that's something that you want to keep in mind. Tankiness is going to be much more sought after in PvE. Alright, usually like burst damage can be replaced by any other characters with lower cost. Alright, at 6 cost, just a little bit too high for PvE. That's something that you have to keep in mind if you're someone that you want to save. Alright, and I've been hearing a lot of players have been telling me, okay, so we're gonna get this Awaken Selector in 1st anniversary. So that's what happens in KR actually. You can also plan accordingly to that, but I would say just take that info with a grain of salt because, you know, in KR, it's not managed by Zilong Games like how it is in C. So there's a chance that our ticket might be different if we ever have a ticket, and that's in the 1st anniversary, meaning in 1 year, I think like 10 or 11 months from now. I don't know if you want to wait that long. You know, that's going to be up to you. Let me know what you guys think of Awaken YOO MINA. Most likely she's going to be the next Awaken character, replacing the Awaken Heal Day banner that is going away soon in 3 days. As always guys, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.